Okay, now it's time to do something very controversial. We are living in the height of the coronavirus, and I am going to the fucking movies because I don't give a shit. I'm not letting that stop me.
You think that was the height of the virus? Wait till 1 week later, when we're all stuck at home with panic fever. Just give it a week, you poor sucker.
And while we're already on the subject, I'm going to watch something very controversial. And that would be The Hunt. The Hunt was supposed to come out last year sometime, and people were taking it so politically. And I don't know, people take politics generally way too seriously, I think. Like, people took it so politically, and in the wake of all these shootings, they moved it. And it seemed like this movie was never going to come out. And now it's actually coming out. And I've heard so many good things about it. I'm really genuinely excited about seeing this. Again, we have a Blumhouse film. It feels like the only thing I've been watching this year are Blumhouse movies. But this is one I'm really looking forward to. My expectations are through the roof. So that's what this little film's got to battle with. I'm expecting a lot. Let's go to the movies, shall we now? Here we go, everybody. We're walking in. It's the movie theater we also saw The Invisible Man at. I hope this is the last movie we have to see here, so I can finally go home. But I'm looking forward to seeing The Hunt. Especially with this political climate happening. Let's do it. Guys, I've never seen the movie theater so empty on a Saturday night. It's kind of heartbreaking, to be honest. I love the cinema, so this really makes me sad. No, I'm not gonna cry again, okay? Emptiness. Pure emptiness. Going in.
We're looking at that right now. We have a lot of these companies coming in a little while. As you know, we're going to be very tough with them. They're treating conservatives very unfairly. Hollywood, I don't call them the elites. I think the elites are people they go after in many cases. But Hollywood is really terrible. You talk about racist. Hollywood is racist. What they're doing with the kind of movies they're putting out, it's actually very dangerous for our country. What Hollywood is doing is a tremendous disservice to our country. We have now, in a little while, all of the heads of the biggest companies coming in, and we're going to talk to them. They treat conservatives, Republicans, totally different than they treat others.
That was fucking awesome. I really had fun with this, totally. And my first reaction, it was very high-paced and totally, you're sitting on the edge of your seat and laughing pretty much throughout the entire film. This is a really fun movie. Let's talk about it at the hotel. I still gotta buy some wine, weed, and water, the 3 W's. And then we're gonna review this motherfucker. Shut up, quiet place. You're not coming out on March 20th anymore. Okay, I just woke up. Let's talk about The Hunt. So, The Hunt was directed by Craig Zubel, who is also responsible for Compliance, which is actually a very fucked up movie. But this is a very lighthearted, fun movie, to say the least. So, you basically have this premise that a bunch of elite Democrats always traditionally kidnap these rednecks and hunt them for sport. That is the premise of the film. The first 10 minutes go completely different than you'd expect them to. And all of a sudden, and you actually, in the end, it comes down to a bunch of people chasing one single woman, which would be Betty Gilpin, I'm trying to pronounce her name, who plays a chick called Crystal. It sort of turns into something like Ready or Not, just on a wider scale. And instead of fragile little Samira Weaving, you have this badass chick. And what really works well in this movie is the humor. It's pretty good, like it plays on both sides. You get like your good share of Democrat jokes, you get your good share of Republican jokes. What's even funny is that in all this Democratic and Republican bashing, in the end, even my core nationality, Croatia, I'm 100% Croatian in blood, by the way, also doesn't look that good in this movie, which is actually hilarious that they even managed to slightly offend me, and credit to people who can offend me. That's great. I'm actually always impressed when somebody does that. While the cinematography doesn't really offer anything that noteworthy, it's all right. Everything's completely fine. What I have to really give absolute props for is the effects. The gore in this movie, there's plenty of it, first of all. And second of all, it's like really well done. It's been a while since I've seen such perfectly executed gore. It's quite fantastic. Our lead also pulls off an incredible performance. There aren't really any performances in this movie that you'd like wish more of. They're all pretty much top notch. What I am also impressed with very much here is the dialogue. The dialogue is fantastic. The jokes always land spot on. Sometimes I would just wish they would have taken it a little further. You know, this is generally a ballsy movie, but it never gets too ballsy. It never like really goes all out of the way to shock you with like some bad political humor. But it does get very gory, as I mentioned before, and that is like pretty amazing. And also what I have to like really give them credit for is the pacing. There is not a single boring moment in this entire film. It works really well. Now, what I didn't like, there's not a lot of stuff that I didn't like here. It's just that, for anybody who's going into this movie expecting Emma Roberts to be one of the main characters, you're going to be a little disappointed because they pretty much Drew Barrymore off her in the Scream style. She's gone in 5 minutes, just so you know. There's also some really great fight choreography in this movie, by the way. Like, there's a really extended fight scene that's like, you gotta give the people credit who made that happen. So like I said, the only thing I was wishing a bit more was a bit more ballsiness. Maybe being a bit more daring when it comes to some choices in this movie. And especially when you got such great dialogue, you can like even take it further. The thing is like, this movie is great, but doesn't like reach that spectacular greatness as, for example, The Invisible Man. It is just a really fun movie. Like, you're doing nothing wrong watching this. You're having absolute fun. And I think that's all it's trying to be. It's kind of tries to present itself, like in the marketing, that it's going to be this big offensive blast, but it's really not that offensive. Okay, I was offended, but who gives a shit? I like being offended. So yeah, check this one out by all means. It's really fun. And I'm going to give The Hunt 7 out of 10.
This is a wild game of survival.
Let's take a look at our chart. So now actually we finally have like a top 3 that really gives us some heavy hitters, you know. We have The Invisible Man chilling at 1, 2, The Lodge, and 3, The Hunt. All 3 incredibly good movies that like you should check out. I'm really wondering though if any movie this year is going to be shittier than The Murder of Nicole Brown Simpson. It's just, I kind of find it very hard to believe that anything is going to top the disaster that movie is. Seriously, like, how can that even happen? But, I'll be surprised